Alright, well, as said on the last video I posted with the update, this is part one of our
DC movie.
Yeah, we're going to review the DCEU. So, I think part one we said is Man of Steel, BVS, and Suicide Squad, maybe? And then the last part will be Wonder Woman and Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut. So we're going to start with Man of Steel, and...
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about...
Excuse me.
And that was Man of Steel.
Yeah, like I was telling Nolan, I kind of remembered how much I actually loved this movie. Well, liked this movie. I give it pretty, like, either an 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10.
Honestly, like, I love this movie, and this is not coming from a fanboy of Zack Snyder's, which I did love his movies, except for the Owl one, Owl and Sucker Punch, which I haven't seen the Owl movie that he made.
Sucker Punch was pretty bad.
Sucker Punch was pretty bad. I loved Watchmen, despite what people say about that adaptation. 300 was just silly fun. Dawn of the Dead was an incredible remake.
All right, let's do negatives of Man of Steel.
Let's start with negatives. Honestly, the only one I can think of right now is the family at the end.
Yeah, first thing I see that scene, I could see there's two possible routes that could have gone. They could have ran, I think they could have ran just forward and to the right.
Or they could have ducked.
Or they could, they could have easily averted that problem. And why couldn't just Superman just squeeze harder and choke Zod out and, put him in a sleeper hold?
Yeah, I think that's also, but again, that's just, minor nitpicks, I think.
Yeah.
What I think this movie does well is that it was obvious that the studio wanted to go into a direction like Batman Begins. Even one of the producers is Christopher Nolan, the guy who did the Dark Knight trilogy. So I feel like they were told, Zack Snyder and the writers were told, hey, you have to make it like Batman Begins.
Yeah, and I think they did a pretty good job.
I think they did a pretty good job, especially when it was Clark Kent as a youth, dealing with his powers, especially that first flashback when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
I forgot how great of a scene not only is that directing and acting wise, but man, that scene actually was really powerful. I think that for the most part, a lot of the performances were good, I would say.
No, yeah, like I said, did the product placement bug you that much in this movie? Because that is the huge negative people like to attach to this film.
Not as much as I thought it would.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I'm so desensitized to movies like Ghostbusters, any Adam Sandler movie where there's obviously a product placement, any film by Sony where they obviously use Sony products, I'm usually okay with, honestly. But, again, that's just me. I know, I understand people being upset about that, but it doesn't really distract the movie, or none of the product placements become a main point. Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. We saw that movie, Power Rangers movie, didn't we?
Yep. But, yeah.
So we gotta ask the question we always like to ask. Was it that bad, Nolan?
No, honestly, I thought this was a really good movie. I thought that despite, minor nitpicks, I think what they were able to accomplish with this movie was really good. I thought the chemistry between, this is going to be odd, but between Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe, Henry Cavill, and Kevin Costner was good. I thought Michael Shannon was a fun villain because Zod's supposed to be over the top, so...
Well, he's just essentially an evil version. So the first part in our DCEU series, like we said in the Ooh, sorry about that, guys. I got a Twitter notification. But, yeah, I liked it. What's up next for us, though?
Next up is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. However, we both decided that we're only going to review the Ultimate Edition, so that's the extra 30 minutes that was cut from the
The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming.
So we just got done watching Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition.
It was ultimately okay.
Yeah, honestly, like, I think besides Ben Affleck's performance, I think the acting for the most part, except for Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, that was pretty cringe, honestly. Like,
but before we continue talking about the movie, we did miss a joke in our previous talk on Man of Steel. So without further ado, here is a clip of Russell Crowe from Les Miserables.
And I'm Javert.
Now that's out of the way. Let's continue talking about the movie.
What do you like about it, Nolan?
Honestly, I think the best part is Ben Affleck as Batman. I feel like just that character in general, he's just pissed off at Superman for destroying Metropolis and his building, which I feel like is a representation of what people felt about Superman at the end of Man of Steel. I know symbolism. Right?
It kind of like brought up that I've always wondered, like, 'cause superheroes cause so much damage in their battles, and it's
Right.
like,
And we have that horse.
yeah, what's up with the horse?
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, so after Bruce Wayne runs into the rubble, there's a horse. So here's a clip of our reaction to the horse.
Is it happening?
It's the horse!
Why?
It's the horse!
Why?
But yeah, what's up with the horse?
It has to be symbolism for something.
Them riding horses like a scene later.
You know, all this is gonna change when the Flashpoint movie happens, and they can just reboot.
And we'll probably talk about that after Justice League. But honestly, besides Jesse Eisenberg's performance and
Pretty okay.
Doomsday, it's just okay. Like, honestly, like the extended cut, it just adds some scenes that, you know, add to the movie, like
the extra
characters, explain plot holes, except for the one scene where the cops are watching a football game, which I found really weird.
What if that football game was like Tommy Wiseau passing the ball around?
Oh, someone please make an edit of that if there's not an edit already.
Like, it just zooms into what they're watching. Well, that football game, wasn't that like a tie-in to the Cyborg character?
I don't know, because honestly, they really... Oh, we'll talk about that later once we get to Justice League. So, honestly, not as good as Man of Steel, but I can...
Better than Death Note, the movie.
That's better than Death Note. Honestly, it's not bad, it's just okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so this concludes part 1. So next time we'll be finishing up the DCEU, which is Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Justice League. So until then, follow me on Twitter at the Nolan Vogel.
At Austin_Plord.
And we'll catch you.
And I'm Javert.